Hello and welcome. This is class number 29 of the quick revision series for Prelims 2024. I hope you have been attending all these classes and these notes have been helping you quickly revise whatever you have studied from the current affairs point of view. Once again, we are continuing with science and technology and discussing the important news from the last 1 year or so. Once again, reminding you, if you have not subscribed to our channel so far, please do that, and also join the Telegram channel to get PDF of all these classes. The link for the channel is again in the description of this video. The first news for today is WASP 107b. What exactly is this? This is an exoplanet that has been discovered by NASA. It's humongous in size. How huge? This is compared in size to Jupiter. The Jupiter size exoplanet WASP 107b has been discovered by NASA and specifically the James Webb Space Telescope. The James Webb Space Telescope has come up as an extremely important piece of component for NASA. In fact, last year a lot of discoveries were made by this telescope. It's a very powerful telescope orbiting in the space to look far away and discover different types of faraway places. We will discuss more discoveries made by this telescope in this class. Now this exoplanet, as I said, is called WASP 107b. It is about 200 light years away in the Virgo constellation and orbits a sun, but it exists beyond our solar system. It is the same as Jupiter in size, but the mass is much more comparable to Neptune, means it is much less dense than other gas giants. It is believed that the atmosphere of this exoplanet mostly consists of helium and sand clouds, means it's extremely interesting in the sense that scientists believe that when it rains, it would rain sand in the planet because it has sand clouds instead of water. So this is how weird lives exist in other parts of our universe. The James Webb Space Telescope, as I told you, is a very important piece of machinery for NASA now. It was built in collaboration with the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency and has been working since 2021. It is right now on the L2 Lagrange point, which is about 1.5 or 1.5 rather million kilometers beyond the Earth's orbit. We have discussed about where L2 point is, that is beyond the Earth. Lagrange point, as you know, are those points where the gravitational pull of the sun and the Earth cancel out each other, providing a stable place for the satellite or for that machinery like the telescope to stay. Next news, NASA has discovered a record-breaking black hole, considered to be the oldest black hole, and along with that a white hole as well. Scientists believe that what they have discovered is 13.2 billion years old black hole. So basically going back to the origin of the universe. It is the largest black hole discovered, 10 times larger than the black hole that resides at the center of our Milky Way galaxy. This again is a discovery made by James Webb Space Telescope and the Chandra X-ray Observatory. These X-ray emissions have helped identify what exactly is the location of this black hole. It signifies a very huge supermassive black hole. X-ray and the light have been magnified 4x due to gravitational lensing. It also is detected by the infrared signals coming in from these black hole. Now, it's important for you to understand the difference between black hole and white hole. White hole is opposite to what black hole does. For example, black hole is regarded as a place in space that has unlimited gravitational force, that has so much gravity that even light cannot escape. That is why you cannot see black hole properly. That is why very recently we could have the first photo of the black hole that was released, but usually you cannot see because it is so huge that even the light cannot escape. That's the gravitational pull of this. White hole on the other hand is right opposite to it. That is, light and matter only emerge out of it. In case of black hole, light and matter basically are absorbed by it. In case of white hole, light and matter are emitted by it. Both white and black holes are solution to Einstein's field equation. The concept of white hole was explored by Carlo Rovelli in his work called The Black Hole Inside the Horizon. Again, as I said, it's just opposite to the way the black holes are supposed to work. Black holes were a result of prediction made by Einstein in his general theory of relativity. Next, taking to space, another discovery, this time around by Euclid. This is a mission by ESA, that is the European Space Agency. Their space agency's mission, that is Euclid, has revealed some very interesting photos about the dark matter and dark energy. It has revealed 5 very important photos to help us resolve the mystery about dark matter and dark energy. This mission was sent on SpaceX Falcon 9 telescope. It aims to create a 3D universe map by observing galaxies which are very, very far off. It is scheduled to be operational for about 6 years from now to give as much information about faraway galaxies as possible. Their specific concern or specific aim to study for this particular project is the dark matter and the dark energy. You would have read about this. Dark matter is something that we believe that the entire universe is majorly made up of. However, no one has ever seen it. It has particles that has an interaction, although very weak interaction, with electromagnetic forces. That is how we have been able to confirm its presence. It acts as an invisible matter, but it impacts the behavior of things that are around it. Dark energy, on the other hand, makes up about 68% of the universe, but it has not been understood properly. There is still a lot of research that needs to be done about how dark energy came into being, its impact, how can we understand and measure it properly. Next news, a very interesting phenomena that usually happens in October, the Orinoid meteor shower. What exactly is this? I'll first show you a photo also that you can understand. See this photo. So this basically is what you call as this meteor shower. A lot of meteors being seen in the clear sky. This is an event that usually occurs every October. It is associated with the Halley's Comet, which leaves behind a trail of debris as it orbits around the sun. This orbit creates a tail that the Earth intercepts, and then it results in the Orinoid meteor shower. These are particularly special. They are very, very fast moving meteors. They move at a speed of about 66 km per second, which gives rise to this extremely beautiful phenomena when you look in the clear sky. Won't be visible from most of the Indian cities because of the heavy pollution that we have. But yes, whenever the sky is clear, you would be able to see something like this. Now, what exactly causes a meteor shower? It is usually seen when meteors are leftover comet particles and they are so small bits from the asteroids. They are broken off and then they travel in very zigzag or non-linear direction. They enter the Earth's atmosphere at very high speed, then they burn up. Very few of the meteors actually reach the Earth's surface, because when they enter our atmosphere, because of the huge friction that they face, most of them get dissolved anyway. They convert into dust in most of the cases. Very few which would be of humongous size would be able to manage somehow to reach the Earth's surface, but most of them are just seen in the sky and then they evaporate or they convert into dust in the long run. Next news, it's related to another asteroid, this time Dinkinesh. What exactly is this? So NASA has been working on a mission called the Lucy mission. This Lucy mission has been keeping an eye on a very important asteroid, a huge asteroid called Dinkinesh. Now it has been found out that Dinkinesh is actually not one but 3 asteroids. It's not just one. First we thought it's just one asteroid, then NASA thought it's 2 asteroids, but now it has been found out there are actually 3 asteroids here and not just 1 or 2. This is a discovery made by NASA's Lucy spacecraft. Where exactly is this? You tell me in the comment section. Where are the asteroids found? So asteroids are not randomly found in the entire solar system. There is a specific place where the asteroid belt exists. Tell me in the comment section where exactly is that. So the scientists have been studying Jupiter's Trojan asteroid, which made a surprise discovery of the main belt asteroid, that is Dinkinesh. This Dinkinesh asteroid was first discovered in 1999. It is an S-type asteroid, which means it is made up mainly of the silicates and some other metal. It is the first flyby target of the Lucy mission. Flyby means Lucy will basically fly very close to it and it will cruise to the Trojan clouds of Jupiter. So the main mission is to study more about Jupiter, but since it is nearby, Dinkinesh asteroid is also where they are keeping an eye. NASA's Lucy mission was launched in 2021. It's supposed to be a 12-year mission. It will make observation of 9 Jupiter's Trojans and 2 other asteroids in the main belt. It is the first spacecraft to be sent to study the Trojan asteroid, which will orbit the Sun in the same path as Jupiter planet. These kind of questions are asked in the prelims examination very regularly in various forms. In prelims examination, for example, UPSC can just say the Lucy mission recently in the news was launched by which space agency, or they can also ask you consider the following statements about the Lucy mission. One of the statements can be that it was sent to study Jupiter or Neptune or Saturn. It has been launched by NASA. Things like that can be asked. This is how space related questions are usually asked by the UPSC. Next, another discovery by this James Webb Space Telescope of Hycean planets. What exactly are these? Hycean planets or Hycean planets are those planets which are considered to be habitable. Those planets where there may be a possibility that there may be in the past or in the future we may have some kind of a life. They have discovered methane and carbon dioxide on this ocean planet. These category of planets are called the Hycean planets. These are class of exoplanets that represent potentially habitable category. Again, potentially habitable, no confirmation, because we are continuously searching for extraterrestrial life. This is why we search for these planets. Hycean stands for hydrogen plus ocean. It is considered that this planet has hydrogen-rich atmosphere. Along with that, it has compounds that have hydrogen and water vapor. Because it has liquid water and hydrogen-rich atmosphere, it may be conducive to life because hydrogen is considered as an essential element of life. Presence of water also makes it solvent for biochemical processes. As I told you, this has been discovered again by the James Webb Space Telescope. This guy has been making a lot of discoveries in the last 1 year or so, and it will continue to do so. It's extremely powerful and it has been keeping an eye on a lot of things in our solar system and beyond that. Moving on, the next interesting and important news is something called the Bortle scale. Now, in simple terms, a Bortle scale is a scale to measure how clear the sky is. Sometimes you go and you want to make some observations in the night sky, but night sky such as in our bigger cities are so polluted that you can't look at anything. It's only when you go to very high altitude, it's only when you go to a place which does not have much pollution where you would be able to see stars, etc. So how clear the sky is, how devoid of pollution the sky is, that is measured by something called the Bortle scale. So what this scale is, it basically gives a ranking or range from 1 to 9. When they say sky is class 1, that means these are the darkest skies with minimal pollution. I'll show you a photo also. So class 1 skies are the best to make any observation because the light pollution will be the lowest. Class 9 are those which you usually see in our bigger cities. They are the most light polluted urban areas with very limited celestial visibility. Look at this photo. This is 9 basically. This is what you see in our metro cities. This is number 1 where you will see most of the observatories being located. So if you see in Ladakh, etc., where we have our observatories in Ladakh in high altitude areas, in the night time you will see such kind of a sky. So this is one excellent, and then basically the ranking keeps on changing. Number 1, class number 1 means it's excellent, it's very very good for making observations. The higher you go, the more difficult it is to make any observations in that sky in the night time. That is again the Bortle scale, B-O-R-T-L-E, do remember that. Next news from NASA again. NASA's Psyche craft has sent messages very very far away using laser. So what NASA is doing, see, in space, usually to send messages, radio communication is used. Radio communication has its own issues, the range, disturbance, etc. So in order to send messages very far off, now for example, when you're looking to send spacecrafts very far away, you want to have technology where you will be able to communicate such far away distances. So what NASA has been doing, they have been trying to use other technologies to send messages. So in this Psyche craft, what they have done is they have sent messages using laser. This is something that is important. Now when we say messages, what we mean to say is high quality images and even stream videos from the dark space. So from the deep space rather. You go away from far to far away areas beyond the moon, and then you can actually send back high quality images. That is important, and that has been done by NASA using Deep Space Optical Communication, DSOC. For the first time, they have transmitted data over long distance in deep space using photons at near infrared wavelengths to communicate with this mission that has gone beyond the moon. This communication technology is an alternative to radio communication. The advantages that it has is number one, much higher data transfer rates, better power efficiency, and much better signals as well. It is very similar to how for our internet facilities we are now trying to move towards, or we have moved towards other optical fiber cable. Optical fiber cables give you much higher speed, much more dependability, much more reliability as compared to the older versions. Similar is the case here as well. When you're trying to replace radio communication with laser and other forms of communication techniques, the idea is that laser and these form of techniques will actually open up a lot more avenues for you to look beyond, to see or to send the messages far beyond. Here are some other important aspects of this NASA mission. It utilizes laser for information transmission. It operates at optical or near infrared part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Apart from that, it reduces degradation of signal, sends much larger data in a small amount of time, and it can be considered for various space missions as well, including when the missions go to different planets as well. Right now we use radio communication. It may be replaced by this form of communication in the future. NASA had achieved this for the first time. Again, this is the first time optical communication has worked between moon and the earth. It is something that NASA had been working on for some time. It has been done using the Psyche spacecraft. This spacecraft is positioned in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and it is dedicated to studying a metal-rich asteroid. Moving on to a slightly different news from the world of space, we come into the world of biology. Uterus transplant. The reason why it is in the news that UK just had its first ever uterus transplant. The interesting part, however, is India has already had a uterus transplant. So India has already tested this technology. The reason why it is in the news is that the UK for the first time had its uterus transplant. India is one of the few countries to already have a successful uterus transplant along with Turkey, Sweden and the US. In India, it's not very common, but we are trying to reduce the cost as well and develop an artificial uterus as well. This is also something that we have been working on to see if some organs can be artificially made by using 3D printers, etc. when you don't have enough donors available. You can't really treat uterus like other transplants. Uterus transplants basically because they're not life-saving transplants. So there are some ladies who have removed their uterus, who are past their reproductive age, who have removed their uterus. So it's not that if you don't have a uterus, you won't be able to live. Uterus plays a key role in the reproduction cycle. So that is where it is important. And this is why on the levels of emergency, the organs that are needed for transplantation, you regard those organs as much more important, which are life-saving. Uterus in that aspect is not about life-saving as such, but they can help women to actually ensure that their reproductive cycle takes place properly. The first live birth after uterus transplant occurred in Sweden in 2014. And since then, uterus transplants have been taking place or are taking place in some other countries as well. Now, do understand when uterus is transplanted, unlike the original uterus that you have, the other uterus that is put into your body, transplanted into your body, it is not connected to the fallopian tubes. So the reproduction will not be natural in this case also. In this case, what would happen again? There will be an embryo that will be created outside the human body. Just like you have in IVF these days, it will be a same IVF process only. So even if you transplant the uterus, you first have to perform an IVF process, and then when the uterus is ready, the doctors will implant the embryos inside the uterus. So please understand, even after uterus transplant, it will not be a natural reproductive process. If the reproduction has to happen, it has to again happen through IVF only, where embryos are created outside in the lab and then they will be placed inside the uterus of the women. Next, the last news for this session is about the Saturn's rings. There is a news that Saturn's ring might briefly disappear, would not be visible in 2025. They will be invisible from the Earth for a specific time period. Now, why is that? This is because the rings are being pulled into the planet by its own gravity. It's a dusty rain of particles under the influence of Saturn's own magnetic field. Its own ring will be pulled up for some time, and from the Earth you won't be able to see it. Saturn, as you know, has the most beautiful and a very extensive ring system which is visible very easily. It comprises, or the ring comprises mainly of dust, ice and rocks. The ring system is divided into major ring groups and smaller ringlets around the planet. The size is very wide but very thin as such. It is easily visible from Earth, as I told you, using even small telescopes. You will be able to see that. First discovered by Galileo in 1610. Exploration was first done by the Cassini aircraft. UPSC has asked question on Cassini aircraft in the past. They asked which planet is it related to, so it was Saturn. It orbited around the Saturn from 2004 to 2017 and gave a lot of important data about the rings of the Saturn planet. This brings to the end of this session of Science and Technology. I have a lot more sessions coming up of Science and Technology. Do stay tuned. Do hit the subscribe and the like button if you have not done so till now, and stay tuned for the remaining classes as well. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Jai Hind.